Hey guys, Mike here from Lunch Money Comics, and today I am outside of a toy and comic book warehouse down in Meriden, Connecticut. Yeah, this is Brickhouse Comics. I've mentioned them on my channel in the past. A couple of times a month, he opens up this warehouse for a big toy and comic sale. It's a gloomy, rainy day. I have nothing better to do, so let's go inside and see if we can find some good stuff. How's it going? Lots of Pokemon going on today. All right, let's check out the wall books he's got. All right, we got to look at this one. It's a pretty nice copy. Really nice copy. Wow. And here's a book that I've been looking for. I wonder if I can get a good deal from James on it. There's another one. That's really cool. Bullet Man. All right, and these are the half-price keys. Basically, he takes eBay sold prices and then halves them, and that's what you find in these boxes. And there's always fun digging. I do need a better copy of this one. And even though these are, you take 50% off, James will often come down even more than that. We kind of have a bundle deal, so even these prices at half is not quite right. You definitely get better deals.
I'll be right back.
That's a definite. Okay. Are you done or are you still looking?
I'm still looking.
Okay.
Like that reprint of Marvel Comics, #1.
Okay.
Easier to look through.
Yeah, I get it. Well, same thing. Did you have them come first? That only really was. I haven't seen it either.
And you can always count on this place to have really weird comics. Like what is that? No idea. Or that, look at that. That's really cool. I'm gonna figure out what year this is from. It's cool. Little piece of tape there. $1935. This is really neat. Really neat. I think my wife would enjoy this. I mean, my wife loves old historic things like this, and it would only be $10, so that's a no-brainer. Cool. Oh yeah, this is the famous Batman slapping Robin meme is in this comic book. There we go. DuckTales #1. DuckTales, and for my money, had the best theme song of any cartoon, perhaps ever. That's cool. This was started 28. That is old. Here are some more early Journey into Mysteries. These are so cool. Awesome. I unleashed Shag upon the world. Did you know? Another Thor. Right in this box. That's awesome. These are Mark Jewelers. My friend Dan of Dan's X-Men Comics would love these. And in this room, they have everything is $1 or cheaper. You can also fill a long box or a short box at a really good price. Trades. And these are just sitting here. These are science fiction comics. It's French. It's in French. Yeah, and they see the Belgian and the Swiss prices there. And the pages are stuck together. But it's from 1958. That's really cool. I love the 1950s, 60s space aesthetic, and I love foreign comics. And here's another one. Monde Futur, that means future world. Yeah, when is this one from? 1960. Strange World, published in France. That's my guess. That is awesome. I don't know what's up with these. They were just sitting here like this, so I'll have to go ask James because these are super cool. All right, guys, I love digging at this place because not only do they have the more obvious key issues, there are tons of weird and unusual books filed away in all of those boxes, and I definitely got some weird books as well as a definite bonafide classic. So let's go back to the house. I'll show you everything I got, and more importantly, tell you the amazing price I got them for. So there you go. That was once again Brick House Comics in Meriden, Connecticut. I've mentioned them on my channel in the past. Not only have I been to these big sales before, but they always go to the local comic book shows in New England. The owner, James, is great. He does this with his parents. They're all wonderful people. And I love going to their warehouse sales. They do them about twice a month on a Saturday. And yeah, not only do they have great comic books at great prices, they have vintage toys, and they usually have people set up selling like Pokemon cards and stuff. And it's just a great atmosphere of a lot of like-minded people having a good time. I had nothing going on this day, decided to swing on down. And I love going there, guys, because yes, they have the big wall books, you know, they have the expensive key issues, but a lot of those books are locked up in these boxes where they're not really sorted by any rhyme or reason. Yeah, you'll find more obvious stuff, DC and Marvel, but there's crazy stuff mixed in there. And the last 2 or 3 times I've gone, I walked away with just bizarre stuff that really kind of fills out my collection and makes it feel a little more unique. And this time is no different. I definitely got some oddities as well as a pretty obvious key issue. So before I show you what they are, if you like this sort of stuff and you want to support the channel, please head down, hit that like button. Feel free to comment and subscribe if you haven't already. And you can follow me on Instagram under Lunch Money Comics IG. And if you're in the Northeastern United States and you want to check out Brick House Comics, make sure you follow them on Instagram and on Facebook to find out when they're not only having those sales, but if they're setting up at a local comic book show near you. So the first comics I want to show you are definitely ones that fall under the category of oddities. I found them in the dollar bin room, and you can usually find some pretty good books there if you're willing to dig, but I didn't have to dig for these. As you saw in the footage, they were just sitting there right on top of the boxes, and I don't know if you could find 2 comic books in that entire room more up my alley than this. So we have 2 French language comics published in France by Artima. Sputnik is from 1958, and Monde Futur is from 1960. Now, I love the space aesthetic from the 50s and 60s. I love what people thought space travel would look like in the future, with, you know, with the space race right on the horizon. And I also love foreign language comics, especially French ones, because I can read them. So I couldn't believe that these were just sitting there right on top. I asked the owner, James, afterwards, you know, what's the deal with these? Are these actually dollar books? And I think he said they were like up on a shelf. They were showing them off because they looked cool. Someone must have taken them down. That worked out for me, guys, because these are just incredibly up my alley. And they're really cool. You know, this Sputnik one is, you know, fairly water damaged, but still, you know, they're all black and white art on the inside. Even the back cover is really cool. Just a fantastic look to these guys, absolutely. And this one's definitely in better shape. And I just love, not only does this have like, you know, like space, you know, comics in here, but there's also like curiosities and like fun facts on the pages. It's really cool. And again, the space aesthetic is just killer from 1958, 1960. Look at this thing right here. Look at Space Pirates. That's just awesome. You know, I mentioned I like looking for the oddities because think about it this way. You know, a lot of people look at the wall behind me and say I have a great collection. But a lot of people have these books. They're the ones, you know, people usually seek out. They're fun to have in the collection, but they're not unique. You know, you find weird stuff like this, it definitely makes your collection different, right? It adds a little bit of yourself into the collection, something maybe no one else has. I don't know anyone who has these in their collection. So these are the types of things, guys, that really jump out to me, especially when you see how cheap I got them for. I'll mention to you what I paid at the end. I got sort of a bundle deal, but definitely got these for less than $1. So pretty fun addition to my foreign language and space comic collection. Next up, we have this right here. So I found this in the half price keys box, and I gotta mention this, you know, they all have prices on them, and he sort of does like half of what eBay sold is based on condition, but even that's not true. A lot of these were priced a long time ago, and James always, you know, negotiates. So whatever price you see on those books, that's not what you're paying. So this one was priced, you know, $20. It would have been $10. I got it for even less than that. This is Hagenbeck, Wallace, and Four Parcells Brothers combined. Circus. That is a mouthful. This is a magazine and daily review from 1935. So the reason I got this isn't because it's a comic book. In fact, it's not really. It's more like a program with ads and things like that. It's like articles. But the reason I really got it is because I not only love old things, my wife does. And she loves these types of old periodicals, magazines, newspapers, because she loves looking at the ads. For instance, you know, hey, everyone smoked back then, right? We have a little cigarette advertisement on the back, and there's tons of stuff like that in here, in addition to all the circus stuff. But there's also some comic books in here. In fact, this is like an insert, and look, it's actually, again, an ad for the 1935 Chevys. So I just thought this was really neat, guys. And if you are someone that's into like circus stuff, I can imagine this is right up your alley. So I thought this was fantastic. I can't claim that this is mine, though. This is going directly to my wife. She has already looked at this, and I told her I had to record first, so this will go back to her. So I just thought it looked cool. Again, fantastic art on the cover. 1935 ads. Had to have it. Again, something that you add to your collection, guys. It's unique. No one else has it. Thought that was absolutely fantastic. And last but certainly not least, you know, James has all those big key issues up on that great wall there, and he's got some doozies. But I saw this book. It's one that's been on my list for a long time. And yeah, it is this Fantastic Four number 50 from 1966 by Stan Lee, Jack Kirby. You also have people like Joe Sinnott doing the inking on it. And, you know, depending on who you ask, you know, the key significance of this might be different. It's often seen as the third appearance of the Silver Surfer or second full appearance of Galactus. But I think a better way to identify it is the third and final part of the epic and famous storyline, The Coming of Galactus. Not only one of the most famous Fantastic Four story arcs, but one of the most famous story arcs in all of comic books. I think most people know the story at this point in time, but in Fantastic Four number 48, basically the Silver Surfer arrives on Earth, prepping it for Galactus, the World Devourer. You know, Silver Surfer isn't evil. He's been conscripted into service for Galactus, and he has the horrible task of basically getting these worlds ready for the insatiable hunger of Galactus. So in that issue, number 48, you get the first full appearance of Silver Surfer and the first cameo appearance of Galactus right at the end. Then Fantastic Four number 49, fantastic book. I have it right behind me. One of my favorite covers of all time. First full appearance of Galactus, second Silver Surfer, and you get both of them on the cover for the first time. Well, the storyline concludes in this issue right here, number 50. So over the course of those 3 issues, Silver Surfer starts to fall in love with the people of planet Earth and decides to go against Galactus. Of course, Galactus is very powerful and he is pretty ineffectual against his former master. However, he basically acts as a diversion for Johnny Storm to fly to Galactus' spaceship and steal the ultimate nullifier, which is a weapon that can basically destroy anything in the universe. Brings it back to Reed Richards, and Reed Richards basically holds it up to Galactus and says, "Leave us now, leave Earth alone, or I will disintegrate you." Galactus agrees, but strips Norrin Radd, the Silver Surfer, of most of his cosmic power and banishes him to Earth. I think a lot of people forget this, especially if you grew up in the 90s like me, where, you know, you saw Silver Surfer in space in all his stories. He was banished to Earth until the 80s. Basically, he couldn't leave Earth, with some very few exceptions. So, pretty epic and famous, you know, 3-issue storyline, and I think most people agree it's one of the better ones ever. And here's the thing, I have issues 48 and 49 right behind me. I needed number 50 to finish this whole thing off. Let's talk about this cover for a second, because while I said, you know, the other 2 have very famous covers, a lot of people don't like this cover. It's very much maligned, and the main reason is the color. I mean, if you look just like a Silver Surfer, he looks fantastic. One of the best Silver Surfer covers of all time in that regard, but the background, it's brown. You know, a lot of people say they like, you know, yellow covers or red covers. You'll almost hear nobody ever say they like brown covers. It's just a really weird choice. You know, it had been a blue background, like my t-shirt right here, I think it'd be a much more well-received Silver Surfer key issue. But it's not just that. Some people don't like the floating heads. I personally like them. But finally, you got this little thing right here. Johnny Storm goes to college, and the reason why this is so kind of silly is that after those crazy world-shaking events that happen in the storyline, how does the world respond? A lot of people think it was a hoax, and then Johnny Storm just goes to college like nothing ever happened. However, it's kind of important that he does because he also meets Wyatt Wingfoot for the first time. It's Wyatt Wingfoot's first appearance in here. Johnny Storm's friend, later roommate and sidekick of the Fantastic Four, follows them on several adventures, most notably when they go to Wakanda and face off against the Black Panther. And also Wyatt Wingfoot ends up being a supporting character in Sensational She-Hulk decades later. So a lot of people don't like this cover. I personally think it's pretty cool. There aren't many like well-known brown covers. The brown aesthetic kind of reminds me of like the older Tales to Astonish, you know, that older Marvel stuff. So I don't mind the brown. If it was blue or black, yeah, it'd be better. But still, guys, it's cool. It's interesting. It's definitely different, and it's worth talking about it in that regard. Let me know down in the comments if you like this cover or not. I meet a lot of people that are very, very divided on the opinion of this. So there you go, guys. Fantastic Four number 50. Not only a milestone issue, but one that caps off a storyline in a run of issues that I've needed to finish in my collection for a while. So how much did I pay for all of these? Well, the price tag he had on this was $120, but like I said, he's always willing to negotiate on all these. And again, these were dollar books, and this would have been $10. James sold all of these to me for $100, right? He negotiates with everyone, guys, and I thought that was a very fair deal for all these comic books, especially this one. I think this one's worth, $100. So, these ones here were basically throw-ins. Oh, I didn't mention the condition real quick. Yeah, there are some color breaks on it. It is a dark cover, especially along the spines and on the outside. But that's it. That's actually the worst part about this book. The back cover looks great. The inside is fantastic looking. The pages are crisp, and the staples are really great. So, yeah, I could use a press, but I think $100 for this book in this condition is pretty good. And I definitely think $100 for all of these is a fantastic deal. So head on down in the comments, guys. Let me know what you think of all of these pickups. Which one do you like the best? Do you think that's a good price? And definitely let me know if you like this cover or not. I'd love to hear from you. And that's it. In the meantime, keep hunting for comic books in strange and unusual places. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you all next time.